Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, guys, to another The First Descendant video. My name's SgtMoose, and today, guys, we're going to be talking about the most recent dev live stream highlighting Season 2, Episode 2. Guys, it was a super long live stream. I think they said it was one of their longest ever, and it makes sense because they shared a lot of details coming in Season 2, Episode 2. We have a lot of new content coming to the game, a lot of changes. So sit back, we're going to talk about some of these changes, guys, and get into Serena and even some of the unique weapons. So let's jump into it. So we're going to summarize this live stream as best we can, guys. We did leave a few small minor details out in the effort of not making this video like 2 hours long, because the idea is kind of break everything down for you, but I will link the entire live stream down in the description as well if you want to check that out. But we're going to talk about the main things that we saw from the live stream here in this video. So to start it off, we're going to talk about a little bombshell that was dropped in the stream, guys. We're going to get the bad news out of the way right off the bat. So some of you may have known, of course, we talked about it in our last Q&A video. The devs were kind of beating around the bush about Ines, Rhea, and talking about possibly nerfing her. They didn't say for sure. However, tonight it has been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, Ines Rhea is going to be getting nerfed to bring her back down to around Freya's level. So it's still super powerful, but they're going to make some changes to her. They didn't go too in-depth with what those changes are going to be. Toward the end of their stream, they did mention that they're talking about some of the, features of her being able to cast her abilities through walls and stuff like that. I don't know if that's the only changes they're going to be making, but they did talk about nerfing her nonetheless. So just wanted to get that out of the way so you guys are aware. Now, the next discussion they were talking about, guys, is the Void Erosion Purge on March 20th, which, of course, is a week after the new update drops. They're going to be decreasing the difficulty for the first 29 levels of the Purge. Now, this is an effort to make skill-based damage dealers more effective. They're going to be changing the meta on April 17th to allow for more skill damage descendants to be able to play through this purge. But as of right now, on March 20th, they're going to be decreasing the difficulty, so you'll be able to get through this purge easier. They said they want you to breeze through the purge until level 30. This is all due to looking through their data. They did notice that not a lot of players are completing these Void Erosion Purge levels, and they want to give more players the opportunity to reach level 30. Now, here's a big one, too, guys, that they talked about in the past. They kind of teased a little bit, is the cores being attached to the weapons. A lot of us would like the opportunity to have weapons, have different loadouts, so we could have different cores attached to these weapons, so we don't have to keep creating new weapons and, farming for the weapons to get their unique ability back up. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to have any new loadouts coming for these weapons for the cores. However, they did mention that whenever you farm out a weapon, again, it will automatically carry over that unique ability. So what I'm getting from this is you will not have to farm that weapon 5 more times. If you already have one with its unique ability maxed out, you farm it again 1 time, you'll have the unique ability maxed out on that as well. And of course, we know the modules do carry over currently too, and the unlocked core option will also be unlocked for that weapon as well. So unfortunately, no loadouts right now, but it does make the process a little bit easier, and you'll only have to farm 1 more weapon. Now, moving on to probably one of the biggest highlights of the night, guys, and probably one of the reasons why most people tuned in is because of Serena. So we got to see a lot of gameplay of her tonight. They also showcased her abilities, her passive abilities, how she works and stuff like that. And I will say from a first glance, guys, she works very, very different than every other Descendant in the game. By far, she looks like a lot of fun. And of course, this will also be a part of the new story coming into the game revolving around the Sigma sector. Of course, Glay and the search for her daughter, Daya, as well, considering her daughter might still be alive. And Serena, we found out, has been sealed within the Sigma sector by the Vulgus all this time. So one thing I want to mention too, guys, is we will be able to farm Serena, her parts, out of the Sigma sector as well. So let's jump into her abilities. We're going to talk about those a little bit too, guys. So it is important to know, guys, that Serena is a fire descendant. However, she is focused on weapons and buffing her weapons. So similar to Glay and Haley, this is going to be kind of the same scenario with Serena as well. However, she will have fire abilities. Now, for the elements and for her abilities, of course, she is fire, but she also has singular and dimension abilities. So let's jump into her passive, guys. And this was kind of like the star of the show for Serena, involving her weapons as well. Her passive is called Divinity, And the description is Serena gains an additional stat bonus when firing a firearm in mid-air. So, I think we've already established that, yes, Serena can fly in this game, guys, and it does tie into her abilities as well. However, when she's airborne, and this goes to more than just flying, but also jumping and using the grappling hook, as long as her feet are off the ground, she has this buff to her weapons. As you guys can see there, air attack increase 45, air explosive 45, air accuracy a 30%, and air recoil reduction rate at minus 30%, minus 15%. This is going to be massive buffs with Serena, so as you can see right out of the gate, guys, she's meant to be played in the air at pretty much all times. So this is going to be really, really exciting. Again, coming from me, a big Anthem fan, seeing her gameplay reminded me a lot of an Anthem Javelin, being in the air, dashing back and forth and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to play her, but that's her passive. Let's jump into her active abilities. So let's take a look at her first ability, guys. Of course, it is Sacred Flame. It's fire and singular, and fires flames in the direction of the crosshairs to deal damage and inflict repentance. On hitting, an ally grants blessing. Repentance acts the same as burn. Firearm attacks against enemies inflict with repentance have a chance to recover rounds for stowed firearms. Now, as you're seeing here with this first ability, guys, Serena also has a lot of support features for allies coming into this game that you've seen here. We'll see more of that as well. So that's her first ability, Sacred Flame. Coming in next, guys, is another fire ability, Ascension. Greatly decreases gravity while this skill is active. Firearm attacks while in mid-air have additional effects depending on the rounds in use. However, jump and grappling hook charge times have been adjusted. So there you have it. That is all her ability there, Ascension, with her flight. Guys, of course, increases tons of damage, tons of accuracy on her weapons as well. So this is going to be a big one to build into when using Serena to get that firearm damage up. So really excited to jump into this one. We have Ascension coming in with the second skill. For her third skill, we have Soar, also a fire and dimension skill. When used on the ground, Serena shoots into the air. When used in mid-air, Serena moves quickly in the direction of movement and reloads the currently equipped weapon. Additionally, Serena's number of jumps is reset. So as you can see here, guys, we have Soar. This is basically her dodge ability when she's in the air. Again, you can propel yourself off the ground when you use this. So this is going to work in tandem with Ascension. So these are the two abilities you're going to be wanting to be using back and forth with Serena. That's where the fun is with her. That's her third ability, Soar. And coming into her fourth ability, guys, we have Redemption. Again, another support ability as well, also to be used on Serena herself. When used on the ground, removes all debuffs on Serena and allies within range and grants Prayer of Redemption. When used in midair, grants Redemption's Judgment to self. Now, guys, they did talk about the current Transcendent mods for Serena as well. We have Divine Surge, flies forward, inflicting knockback on enemies in the path and deals large amounts of damage on landing. Additionally, creates a path of fire in her wake that deals continuous damage to enemies within range. I did see them using this ability with Serena tonight on their stream, and it looks badass. Probably the one I'll be using the most with her, we have Divine Surge. And for the last of the Transcendent mods, and to wrap up Serena, guys, we have Him, which, when used on the ground, creates a zone that increases the jump of allies. When used in midair, temporarily increases the movement speed of nearby allies. And this is a replacement for your ability 3 for Serena, and again, another support module. Now, moving on, guys, they did, of course, talk about the new field, the Sigma Sector, which is the new content coming into the game that is also going to be used for farming out Serena. The Sigma Sector, a few things about it. It's going to support matchmaking, so you'll be able to jump in. You won't have to do it just by yourself or with friends in private. Now, it's going to come with 2 difficulties, of course, normal and hard, and when you start the mission, you're going to start in a random spot, which depends on the difficulty and the field that you choose. The missions are randomized to make repetitive play more engaging and less boring. Also, for the normal difficulty, guys, it's slightly more difficult than the infiltration operations at 100%. The hard difficulties are slightly harder than the infiltration operations on 400%, and can be accessed if you're at least Master Rank 15. Now, the devs did mention that once you get used to this mode, it's going to take about 6 to 8 minutes to complete. There's also going to be new monsters within this mode, and there's going to be new pickup weapons in this mode. Of course, they showcased what's called the Ground Sweeper. After you defeat a certain boss in this mode, you can pick it up and use this weapon as well. And again, the Sigma Sector is going to be used to farm Serena. It's also going to be used for arcade tuning and new weapon farming as well. So speaking of the arcade tuning, guys, I know a lot of us have been wondering about that. We're going to talk about that too a little bit. So after you beat the main Beyond the Void quest coming in Season 2, Episode 2, you'll be able to then start your arcade tuning. You'll be able to have a maximum of 40 nodes. So if you've seen the skill tree of the arcade tuning so far, you'll have an idea about those nodes and how you'll be able to use them. Also, these arcade tunings will be shared between normal and ultimate descendants, and you can save 3 customized presets for each descendant for the tuning. Now, to gain experience for the arcade nodes for the arcade tuning, of course, we did mention the Sigma Sector, but you'll also be able to get experience within the Void Vessel and the Void Erosion Purge, and the devs say it takes about 10 hours to complete level 40 of the arcade tuning to be able to get all of those nodes. It also says you can boost items and relics in Sigma Sector, and it can boost the proficiency of your arcade tuning by 40%. Now, guys, they also did showcase the new Void Abyss boss. Of course, as you guys know, we had the Infernal Walker and the Defiler for this season. They're going to be going away at the end of the season, so if you missed any of your Colossi or any of your skins that you want to pick up, you have about 7 days to be able to do that right now, guys, before we get the new Void Abyss boss. And the Void Abyss boss that we're getting is known as the Tormentor, and it's going to be an electric boss. Now, as far as this boss mechanics, he summons cubes that can't be destroyed easily, so the devs said. You use skills that deal constant damage to overload them, destroy them, and then you gain a buff. Now, if you don't destroy these cubes within a certain amount of time, you will get a debuff. Now, this is how the boss works. Again, electric. Guys, so I know a lot of you are going to be working on how to defeat this thing really, really quickly. They actually beat this boss on stream tonight relatively quickly as well, so it's going to be another one to farm out them QTA vouchers and be able to get your Colossi and your skins. Now, next, guys, we're going to be talking about the 4 unique weapons they talked about that are coming in Season 2, starting with the Battle Pass weapon called the Malevolent. It's a hand cannon that's made for ad clearing, and I'll pop the unique abilities up here on the screen for these weapons as well. Next, guys, we have the Ancient Knight. This is going to be an assault rifle coming in. And after that, we have the Atoms, I believe, something like that. Atoms weapon. It is a sniper rifle. Unfortunately, they didn't show the unique ability for this weapon on screen, but they did say that it is a very powerful sniper rifle that consumes MP and incremental damage in return for consuming that MP as well. And last but not least, we have the Truly Deadly Arson. I absolutely love that name. That is a new beam rifle coming in. Now, jumping into a few more things, guys, to kind of wrap up the video for the stream, we have 4 new external components plus modules coming in as well in the new season. We have the photo mode, of course, coming in, and they highlighted a lot of how that photo mode works. And honestly, guys, it looks like a traditional photo mode that you would see from many games. You think like Stellar Blade, stuff like that. That's what this photo mode looks like. It looks very solid. You can do different poses in it. You can rotate your descendant. It has zoom features. You can show or hide your fellow. It has depth of field, different filters, all that cool stuff coming in with photo mode. Also, we have implant module settings. As we were told in the past as well, you will now be able to transfer all of your regular Descendant modules to your Ultimate Descendant modules without having to recatalyze them. You will do that at the Prime Hands, where you increase your Mastery rank. Now, also a little more bad news coming in, guys, for PS4 and Xbox One players. They did confirm tonight that support will be ending for these platforms on June 19th. They didn't really explain why. I'm assuming because it's maybe throttling them or holding them back for how they want to develop this game, or simply just because they don't have enough players on those platforms. I don't know, but support is ending on June 19th. And to round everything off, guys, we do have new events coming with this update as well. Starting with the Beyond the Sigma event. It's going to be another login event. If you log in for 14 days, you'll have the option to choose Ultimate Bunny or 2 Haley skins. So, of course, the veterans are probably going to go with those Haley skins. New players, this is all in an effort to get new players to come back, are going to be able to unlock that Ultimate Bunny with those successful 14 logins. Also, a lot of folks have been talking about Crystallization Catalyst and more ways to obtain them. Well, we have Serena's Secret Operation Support event coming in as well, which also lasts for 14 days, and you'll have the opportunity to get a Crystallization Catalyst every single day. So it'd be pretty nice on top of the catalyst that you're already researching with the NACE, you'll be able to get an extra additional catalyst within these 14 days, and there will also be a Blair event coming after that. So, with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, I know that was a big mouthful. Like I said, I kind of wanted to summarize this stream with some of the biggest topics that I saw. Of course, there was a ton more stuff that they talked about in this stream that we're going to go back, we're going to watch it again, and kind of maybe even make another video in the future highlighting some of that other stuff. But this was some of the biggest stuff that we saw first in the stream. Also, we didn't see a lot of stuff regarding Ultimate Blair, so I guess we'll be finding that out soon as well. But this is what I got from this stream, man, and I'm really, really excited for Season 2, Episode 2. It looks like the devs really have their heads down, working hard, trying to, give us the content that we want to kind of hold us over for this Season 2 to get us into Season 3. So, with all that said, guys, that is the summary of this live stream. Again, I'll link it down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, man, please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite thing was about this update. With that said, guys, my name's SgtMoose. If you guys haven't already, you don't support a creator with the First Descendant, you can feel free to support me. I'll pop my code up here, and I really appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.